What's up, everybody? Today we are here to talk about the best player props available for Monday Night Football Week 9 on PrizePicks. Baltimore Ravens at New Orleans Saints. Joey, how you feeling about this game? What do you like for the props?
I'm doing well. It's an interesting game, especially on Prize Picks. There are some props that we both like, and I think we should just get right into it. So, for this Week 9 slate, who is your favorite prop to play tonight?
That's easy, man. I got one, and I'm going to just call it a stone cold lock. If you're out there viewing, 2-pick power plays, 4-pick flex, whatever your vibe is, this should be in there. Okay. Lamar Jackson over 9.5 rush attempts. Honestly, it's a fair line. He's, pretty much split on this in the season. He's gone over in 4, under in 4 through 8 games. This is week 9 here. I think that he is going to put the team on his back this week. Okay. No Mark Andrews, no Rashad Bateman. They are down to the bare bones of this offense. They're going to be throwing to Devin Duvernay, Isaiah Likely. I mean, goddamn, Josh Oliver is going to be out there catching passes today. Lamar Jackson is going to put the team on his back. He's got the contract coming up. He just saw Justin Fields set a regular season NFL rushing record. And I mean, you think that he likes that? You think he's trying to get one of the biggest quarterback contracts of all time and think that there's this other young kid out there out rushing him? Absolutely not. Primetime game. Lamar is chasing the bag, and he's going to put the team on his back. 9.5 rush attempts to the moon. Lock it in. If you guys like this type of content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are almost at 500. Each and every one helps.
You have a lot of conviction in this play over 9.5 rushing attempts. I do like it. I do agree that Lamar is going to have to put the team on his back. Like you said, no Bateman, no Mark Andrews. So they are down their best skill position players. You know, they're trotting out Isaiah Likely as their tight end one. They're trotting out Devin Duvernay and James Prochet and Kenyon Drake as their main group of skill position players. I think this is a game where Lamar is going to have to put the team on his back if they want to win. And one way he could do that is by rushing the football 9.5 attempts. I think that he probably goes for 10 plus. Obviously, like you said, it's a fair line, so I don't think there's a huge edge there. But just with the way that I think this game could play out, I do like this over 9.5 attempts as well.
All right, Joey, what is your favorite prop on Prize Picks for this Monday Night Football game?
All right, my favorite prop for Monday Night Football tonight, we're going to the receiving yards category. We're going Alvin Kamara over 36.5 rushing yards. If I pull up his recent game log, you can see here he's gone over that in 3 out of his last 5 games, averaging 56 receiving yards per game. And I just think this is a good spot for Kamara. The Ravens have one of the tougher rush defenses in the NFL. They're third in rushing yards allowed per game. But if we take a look at what they're allowing to opposing running backs in terms of receiving categories, they're 5th worst in the NFL, allowing 8 targets per game to opposing running backs, 6.2 catches per game to opposing running backs, and 45.6 receiving yards. We obviously know Kamara is one of, if not the best, receiving back in the NFL as it currently stands. He gets used in a variety of ways, and I think this could be a spot where they're not going to be able to run the ball. Andy Dalton is going to probably have to drop back quite a bit here, and with some of the injuries that they also have, Michael Thomas out for the season, Jarvis Landry is still not 100%, Adam Troutman is back, but he's not 100%. Alvin Kamara is the guy in the Saints offense besides Chris Olave, and 36.5 receiving yards, I think it is a good bet. I don't think it's a great bet, but I think in any neutral game or any negative game script, Kamara is getting a ton of work in the passing game, and 36.5 receiving yards is just too low in my opinion.
Makes a ton of sense to me. I mean, that line is just too low for a player of Kamara's caliber. I mean, and he could take one catch and get over that prop, right? Like he's just as explosive as they come with the ball in his hands. I like that. And in terms of what you said, negative to neutral game scripts, they are underdogs by 1 point at home in this spot. So sets up really well for Kamara. Lamar Jackson over 9.5 rush attempts. Alvin Kamara over 36.5 receiving yards. That is our 2-pick power play for Monday Night Football. Obviously, obviously 2-pick power plays on PrizePicks are going to be the most profitable long-term, most EV bets that you can make. So that is what we would recommend that you do if you're trying to build up a bankroll, if you're trying to be successful in terms of being a plus EV better. That being said, I mean, come on, we're human. We like to make fun bets too. We like to throw in the 4 picks, the 5 picks, get in there. So in terms of some other leans, things that I might sprinkle in just for fun, the 2 others that I, really caught my eye off rip. Andy Dalton under 1.5 touchdown passes. This is a team that has been familiar with Andy Dalton, obviously played within the division. Jim Harbaugh has a ton of experience with Andy Dalton, and there are just so many different ways that the Saints can score. If they score, it's a dropping total, so it looks like there won't be too many points here. Taysom Hill's a threat to vulture. Obviously, Alvin Kamara is a factor on the ground in terms of vulturing touchdowns. I don't think Andy Dalton's throwing 2+ here, so give me that. -150 on Pinnacle. And another value, just if you're looking at Pinnacle lines and comparing them to PrizePicks, under 5.5 receptions for Chris Olave is currently -169, looking like the best available prop in terms of odds that we can get on PrizePicks. So that's one that I would maybe just take some interest in from a good bet perspective, although it's tough to buy into because, I mean, goddamn, Chris Olave is a dog, and this is a good matchup. So that's a hard one to do, but -169 is good on under 5.5 receptions for Chris Olave.
So Andy Dalton under 1.5 touchdowns juiced on Pinnacle. The only thing I would say is just be careful of just betting juice lines without any context or research. Take it from me firsthand, experiencing it. It's not a winnable strategy long term because juice favorites lose every single night. But I do like it. Like you said, the Ravens are familiar with Andy Dalton. Kamara is obviously a huge touchdown threat. Taysom Hill is a vulture, and I think there is some bench equity with Andy Dalton every week, especially if he comes out and underperforms. I could see them going to Jameis Winston, so there's a lot of outs there for the under 1.5, so I do like that a little bit more than Chris Olave under 5.5 catches. He's obviously gone under this line in 3 out of his last 5 games, but this is like a cupcake matchup for Chris Olave. I mean, the Ravens are the 3rd worst passing defense in the NFL if we're looking at targets allowed and receptions allowed and yards allowed to opposing wide receivers. So it's a good spot for Olave. This could be a negative game script where Andy Dalton is going to have to drop back a little bit more. So I would just be careful about that. It's definitely going to be a sweat if you bet the under or the over. But if you are betting juice lines, Chris Olave under 5.5 does look good.
All right, before we get out of here, in terms of sprinkling something in for flex plays, what are you looking at?
Yeah, so I mean, if we're just doing a 5-pick flex play and you want, a nice little sweat, maybe have a nice fun prop in there, we're going to go to the sacks category. I'm going to take the Saints under 2.5 sacks here. I think that the way this Ravens team is going to play today is just going to be a very run-centric game plan. I know you can beat the Saints through the air, but the Ravens tried to do that against the Bucs last week. Some of the injuries that they had to some of their players, and we all saw it didn't work out in the first half. What did they do in the second half? They went back to their bread and butter, which is the ground game with Gus Edwards and Kenyon Drake and Lamar Jackson. I think the Ravens are going to come out and understand that they just don't have a ton of talent at the wide receiver position and the tight end position tonight, and they're going to have a run-centric game plan. The Saints are averaging 2.4 sacks per game, and Lamar has been sacked 2 or less times in 5 out of the 8 games this year. We obviously know he's one of the more elusive quarterbacks in the NFL. The Saints are averaging less than 3 sacks per game, even at home. So this is a fun prop. It's a fun sweat. I think that it will work out just because of the way that I think the game is going to play out. And you obviously just have a lot of equity in Lamar and his escapability and all of that. But, if he has a designed run or if he tries to make a broken play and gets tackled, outside of the pocket or towards the sideline, they're going to call it a sack. And I think that's the only way that this prop loses is if the Saints get a couple of those. So a bit of a fun prop there, but recapping, Alvin Kamara over 36.5 receiving yards. Lamar Jackson over 9.5 rushing attempts. Andy Dalton under 1.5 passing touchdowns, -150 on Pinnacle. Chris Olave under 5.5 catches, -170 on Pinnacle. And Saints defense under 2.5 sacks for Monday Night Football.
Absolutely love them, Joey. And that is going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, Like this video if you want to see more Prize Picks content, and I'll be back with an early look at NFL Week 10 Prize Picks tomorrow, Tuesday afternoon. We'll get you some stuff to pair with the tacos. Until then, have a great day.